Hi, my name's Mike Griffin, and I'm from Elevate Sales Training. I actually do sales productivity training across the Asia Pacific. We have a very interesting webinar today about the 4 areas to get digital selling right. With us, we have a Microsoft customer, Mr. Matthew Schmidt. He is the Group ITS Manager for Dextra out of Bangkok. And we have Sandeep Walia, CEO of Unify Dot, who works with Dextra to, again, translate that strategy of wanting digital selling into real results. Thank you. Would either of you like to say a few words about yourself?
Thank you, Michael. As you mentioned, I'm the Group ITS Manager, Head of IT for Dextra Asia. I've been with the company a little over 2 years, and we are based in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah, and your business is working with project managers, construction, and B2B selling. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. We sell rebar couplers and bar solutions, geotechnical solutions geared towards large-scale construction.
Large scale, yes. All right. Well, then we have a very interesting guest, Sandeep. Tell us a bit about Unify Dots and yourself.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we're a global Microsoft Dynamics partner, and we deploy Microsoft-based solutions across the world, including CRM, ERP, artificial intelligence solutions to help customers improve productivity. We've been doing this work for about 25 years now, and help several customers enable their sales teams to more work digitally, as well as improve their supply chain and financial reporting.
Thank you. Well, let's start with our first area or topic. Recently, Gartner has said that customers, B2B customers, are only willing to spend about 17% of their time interacting with salespeople. Secondly, by 2025, it looks like B2B customers will move about 80% of their business to the digital context. Tell me, how does that affect the sales productivity piece for your salespeople? Matthew, let's hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Michael. For For us, it's all about making sure that Dexter remains visible when people are looking for a particular product, and also shifting towards making sure that all of our customers can get access to all the information they need without necessarily needing to go through sales first. And so, as you mentioned, they only want to spend about 17% of their time actually interacting with somebody, but we also sell a highly technical solution, and so we need to make sure that they have access to that information. And so we do things like tools, calculators, estimators that the customers can interact with so that they have some idea before they actually reach out to our salespeople.
Yeah, I like that idea of tools and stuff where the customer and your seller can be proactive in terms of collaborating rather than a sales push. Sandeep, with your experience, what are you seeing in this world of post-COVID, more digital selling? What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's really an interesting shift. So first, like Matthew said, customers want to be able to just get information on their own. Information they get on their own through digital sources just has higher credibility than what a salesperson tells them. So making that available to them through portals, blog articles is huge. And salespeople can be writing that to drive that credibility with customers. So the more savvy salespeople are becoming good content authors and doing great thought leadership. The other piece is, the technology has really evolved to allow salespeople to become far more efficient. So, for example, in one of our customers now, after you did a sales meeting, you type out the minutes and send it out. And today you have transcription that's automatic. If I do a Teams call, it's automatically recorded and available in Microsoft Dynamics Sales, right, with highlights and action items. And you just have to edit those to make it be what you want it to be. But those are the kind of things that salespeople can just be really productive in. Yeah, so that combination of using digital tools to being thought leaders as well as driving productivity is really huge for the salespeople that are picking them up and embracing these technologies.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, again, if they're better prepared, they're more professional, then there's higher trust from the customer point of view to interact with that salesperson. So that ability to be prepared properly before a meeting with less time is very, very important. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, you talked about the digital changes. Well, this for the salesperson can be a bit overwhelming. Now we have the salesperson being the ambassador, but also having to maybe orchestrate across different channels, work with customers on offline channels, various touch points, etc. How do you see the salesperson being that orchestrator to engage the customer more with all these different touch points? Matthew, over to you.
Yeah, so as you mentioned there's now a partnership between IT and the sales side. And the traditional approach of having your salespeople with their diverse sets of information stored in their own local areas, local drives. They've got their own customer contacts, and now wanting to kind of drive that into one single system, whether that's a CRM, and then taking it beyond that, even in tying those CRMs into your ERPs, into your forecasting tools, so that you are getting that real 360 view. And as you mentioned, also arming your customers with the information before they head into those meetings, and so you can tie that in again with like your service systems. And so when your salespeople are now fully informed before they have the meeting, they know, okay, we're having field issues with this particular customer. Or you can also have it so that the representatives for those particular units are getting the notifications when there are field issues. And so they can reach out immediately too, so that you're covering it from both the customer care standpoint as well as the technical care standpoint.
Let me expand on that for Sandeep. The salesperson now has to work across a platform. Like you said, Matthew, the salesperson is no longer the controller of the information, et cetera, the traditional way. How does, you mentioned IT, sales management, customer service, production, supply, how does this all come together to help the salesperson sell to this more picky, demanding customer base? Sandeep.
Yeah, so I want to build on that. And there, today's salespeople can't be going in and trying to sell and not know about what's going on at a customer. So that 360-degree view that Matthew talked about is really important. I need to know as a salesperson what's going on the service side, what's going on in the field, has the equipment been installed, has the preventive maintenance been done, and not just know, what's the quotation status. Because if I went in trying to sell and not know there's a huge service outage or issue, I'm not going to be very effective because I'm not going to have the conversation the customer really wants to have, right? So that 360-degree view requires integration of a lot of different systems, customer service, field service, ERP, CRM, and bring it all in one place for the salesperson to be effective. And that's a very significant challenge. Customers could spend 6, 12, 18 months trying to bring these systems together. But customers that choose to be on a single platform like Dextra, where it's Microsoft Dynamics, can bring that information in much quicker. For example, we have done integrations using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain, and Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales and Customer Service and Field Service in less than a month. So that's a huge difference. Yeah, and because you're using native integrations with a common data model that comes natively in that platform. So that just arms your salesperson to be more effective and really get to the status of they're the champion for the customer in the organization. So they become the voice of the customer, and they say, hey, there's a service issue that we need to fix. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to sell more. And they really allow themselves to become that voice in the organization of that customer. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, the voice on both sides. The salesperson now becomes an orchestrator and has to work the system both for the customer and his internal systems, whether it be production, marketing, service, or whatever. So the platform helps.
That's right.
I found many sales directors, managers struggling with how to, if I may say, take the elephant and eat the elephant one bite at a time. A lot of sales directors are overwhelmed by how do I get the data? How do I integrate? What technology? Tell us a bit about what happened at Dextra, how these critical areas of AI, technology, et cetera, had come together for helping that salesperson sell solutions to the customer. What technical considerations did you have to take into account? Maybe some problems, and how does it work?
Yeah, so for us, as Sandeep mentioned, the common data model. And so that was really the first step for us was to find a way to get all of the information out of our various systems into one harmonized data set that we could then produce that 360 view, or the global combination of the information. And so for us, the difficult part and the word of advice to anybody else that's starting that journey is focus on the data first. You need to understand from the users because they are the experts on what they want to see. And you partner with IT, who are the experts of gathering that information from the different places to put it in to one location that you can then report against. And so we started our journey looking one dashboard at a time, and the development was quite slow. We took a step back and said, let's develop the full data model first. And after that, the pace greatly accelerated. We went from roughly one kind of global dashboard per month to developing 30, 40 dashboards over the next 8-month period. And so once you get all of that data harmonized, and so that's the key, you understand what systems house your data, what are the key pieces of information from each of those systems, and then the piece that is the real tricky part is understanding what is the common thread through each of those systems that let you tie the whole thing together. And that's what takes the real time. But the end result is you take a company with multiple affiliates, global reaches, multiple different systems, but you can take from all of that, and before you even start looking at unifying the systems, you can unify the data, and you can get that one picture for your executives. So it kind of starts at the top, and they get that view of everything. And you can drill through the way that data set is built all the way down to, if you're monitoring one segment or you're monitoring against your forecast. So you've pulled the forecast information in, you see your actual data, you can see, okay, I'm exceeding my forecast, who's doing really good, or I'm not exceeding my forecast. You can drill into that segment all the way down to which sales team is responsible for that and figure out what they need to do to push.
So this unified data approach allows the directors or board of directors, et cetera, to adjust strategy, product mix, et cetera, but also dive down to the individual account, the individual salesperson, and see how they're doing. Sandeep, I have a question for you about this unified data. Again, a lot of sales directors, managers are struggling what to start with first. How do we get this going? Because it looks like, according to Harvard and Gartner, if you don't move ahead with data integration and AI, you're going to be a loser in the future. How would you consult with, or what would you tell a group of sales directors how to get this started?
Yeah, so first, just building on what Matthew said, first thing to do is in that common data model, make sure you have a common identifier for your customer record. Because if you're wanting to get customer information in one place, if Dextra as my customer has a different ID in the CRM system and has a different ID in my billing system, different ID in my quoting ERP system, I'm not going to be able to tie it together. So I need a way to have a common ID, bring it together. So that's just one simple thing, which a lot of people don't think about. But for example, with a single platform, that enables it. Like in Microsoft Dynamics, that's automatic. You don't have to do that, right? So that, I think, is a big difference. But that can take a lot of time to bring that together, understand the common IDs, eliminate duplications. That same customer may have been mastered 3 times another. So just that cleanup is something to focus on, so that then you can get the benefits of it, which is like the customer insights. Oh, this customer in this month buys these kind of products. This is maybe what we should be quoting them and bringing to them in that month, because now we know how they buy. But if you don't have that, or they typically do all their service in this month, but that requires integration from these different systems, right? So that salesperson can be more savvy, but it takes that plumbing type of work to be done.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. McKinsey, as well as Microsoft research, shows that the number one strategy companies should use through this COVID situation and moving to the more hybrid digital selling model is to protect your existing customer base and cross-sell or upsell. How has the platform, the methods that you've implemented at Dextra helped to protect your customer base and expand business through farming using the platform? Matthew, anything on that?
So for us, the customer retention isn't so much the issue. We do have a pretty good job of, once we get in with a particular customer, of being able to stay with that customer pretty long term. And so again, nature of our business, a lot of the stuff we work on, the projects are multi-year. And so you tend to develop quite a relationship. And once you've gone through a few of those and prove yourself reliable, the customers tend to come back. But for us, it's always looking about how to get into the next segment, or how to get into even the same segment in the next country. And so small, medium enterprises out there, not necessarily a large company in terms of headcount, but a large company in terms of global reach. And so that when you look at these systems, that's part of what it is that we're trying to facilitate. And so if you track back even through the answers over the first couple of questions here, you're really dealing with kind of an asynchronous sales scenario. You've got customers that are maybe in a location where you don't have somebody that's physically active during their in that time zone when they're really busy. And so you have to arm them with the ability to get that information. But we also need to have a place to store that information so that we can get that interest channeled to the right salespeople so that they can properly follow up on things. And for us, the systems integration is really the key piece, so that we can accurately take whatever that customer demand is. And as I mentioned, when you're dealing with multi-year projects, you have to make sure that you can deliver certain things at certain times to support construction. And so those are heavily orchestrated projects that if your stuff doesn't show up on the day it's supposed to be there, you cause a cascade effect that can impact their whole timeline. And so for us to make sure that we can always deliver when we say we can deliver is critical. And so when you're lining up the next project, when you're lining up the next customer, that forecasting is absolutely critical. And it all starts, with the sales forecast that then moves into the ERP, which then feeds your supply chain forecast, which then feeds your manufacturing forecast. You've got to have the materials so that you can build, so that you can ship, so that you can get the product to the customer when you said you would get it there. And so for us, timing is critical.
Let me move to Sandeep. Sandeep, let me enlarge the question a bit to move not only to farming with existing customers, but prospecting as well, and funnel management. What's your experience working with Dextra and other customers about forecasting both for farming, existing customers, and prospecting in this digital world?
Yeah, it's interesting. Forecasting has really been put in the spotlight with the pandemic because sales kind of plummeted and then they just shot up, right? And so it just left customers totally unprepared for that spike in demand, and then on top of that, it's been compounded by supply chain challenges. So the easiest way, just from the farming side, to lose a customer is if you can't deliver, right? So if you can't deliver the product, they have no choice but to look at other sources. So planning and forecasting are just huge aspects of it. And for example, in Dextra, in addition to every project, they're tracking delivery dates, which is the foundation for doing the forecasting piece. And that's a project area that we're seeing a lot of growth in, to be able to put in good forecasting and planning systems so that you can plan your sale, you can forecast your sales, you can plan your inventory and supply chain, make sure you don't have gating components of parts that's going to hold up a shipment, which means you now have your cash sunk in your inventory, but you can't get to the customer. So you kind of got the worst of both worlds. You lose the customer to a competitor, and you weren't able to get your product out, and you've paid for because you missed a component that is there, right? So that's one piece. On the new customer side, I think salespeople have to really think about it from a different tack. So the old model of being able to just go and do hard sell is kind of dead. So they want to be, you want to be thought leaders, you want to be industry experts, you got to add value to the customer in your conversations, because customers are going to come to you educated, and they've done their research. So you got to provide that next level of solutioning for them, so that they really see value in you and take you with credibility. I think that's a big portion of what the salesperson needs to do and evolve in the next generation.
Yeah, Sandeep, this next question is for you. We've talked about the science of data, digitization, this hybrid selling model. An important aspect of this is, of course, making the sellers more effective in what they do and creating solutions for their customers. Sales coaching comes to mind. How do we use these tools to coach our sales team, our salespeople better, using AI, digitization, hybrid selling, etc.? What's your experience in that? Can you comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. So first, organizations need to invest in making their sellers digitally savvy so that they have the ability to use these tools, and can put out thought leadership type of content out there, because customers are looking for this in the form of whether it's webinars, videos, blog articles, and author those. Because today people aren't, moving forward because a salesperson called them, but they're going out and searching for this information and then reaching out to the authors and the people that they feel are credible around this. And the good thing is, with the pandemic, people have gotten so much more comfortable with consuming digital information across the world. So before, if I had to reach out to 100 countries, I have to go and do 100 events. I don't need to do that. I could just do 3 webinars across 3 major time zones and be able to cover the world. So in a way, I can do this far more efficiently, far cheaper, but I have to embrace these tools and be able to do that. So it's coaching my salespeople, but then also the salespeople become coaches online to customers and provide that thought leadership to their customers. I think that makes a huge difference in their credibility with customers and prospects.
The other thing that comes to my mind as well on this coaching is, let's say with Microsoft Teams, you don't have to have all your salespeople in the office anymore. You can coach virtually now and probably have more what would you say, relational touch to coach your sales team with these types of tools and integrate it with the digitization and bringing in AI. How do you see AI helping coaching? Can you comment on that as well?
Yeah, because there's ability to now, using tools like LinkedIn relationship. You have the ability to get insights in the industry that you can then share with customers. And when you're having a meeting with them, you can provide them that industry best practices that you've gotten from your AI tools that can be delivered to those customers. So that makes a big difference, because now you're adding a lot of value in the customer journey and not just pushing a product, but helping them understand how the industry is changing, what kind of solutions will work for them, and help them to become a better organization.
Yeah, Matthew, you're a customer of Microsoft, et cetera. But from the IT point of view, you can step back and sort of look at how the sales teams are doing, how they're being coached and managed. Any insight, let's say as an outsider, looking at how Dexter sales teams are managed and coached? Any insight for us?
Yeah, so just really there's three kind of things that I'd like to talk about on that particular topic. And the first one is just from a pure customer standpoint. As Sandeep mentioned, a lot of it is the customers coming to you with what it is that you're looking for. I can't think of the last time in the last 2 years where somebody randomly called me as the head of IT selling me something that I said, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Or the 200 emails a day I get in my inbox of somebody trying to sell me something. They are things where I'm looking for a CRM and I work with Microsoft and they point me to a partner, or I'm looking for a security solution and I work with, I'm looking for it. I'm doing the research first. And I think that it's not just IT that does that. It's everybody. And so you have to have that information available. The second one, where Sandeep mentioned the tech savviness, even with the adoption of our CRM, kind of what we see is we have users that really fall into three groups. You have the people that live and breathe the CRM, where every little thing that they do is in the CRM. They've got it open all the time, always visible. You've got the second set that use it as kind of a supplement to their more traditional styles. And then you do still have kind of that last subset where they stick with the more traditional style with only occasionally updating the CRM. As we move forward, in order to take advantage of, again, the systems integration of the dashboard concept, all of that information has to get into the system in a timely manner so that you can get that global 360 view, so that you can accurately feed your supply chain information. And so the speed and accuracy of the information is also critical. And on the third part, as far as education, that's certainly something obviously your sales staff has to be educated on the product that you sell. They have to be able to speak about it and to answer the questions. And even more so, the more technical your product gets, the more technical your sales staff has to be. But Sandeep also mentioned there where you take the webinar concept. And so traditionally we travel, we visit a lot of customers, we go to a lot of conventions, we speak at a lot of events about our products. And for the last 2 years, we haven't been able to do that. And so one of the things we have done is internally hosted things like webinars. And so you can take, there's some additional benefit to that as well. And not just the reach, not just the number of attendees, not just the number of key stakeholders you can hit at any one given event, but you also get the recording, you get the interactions, you get the registration list of who signed up for it. You get their contact information so that you can then feed that back into your CRM. And you get useful information out of it. So you can get, okay, I had 150 people showed up, but these 10 only stuck around for the first 5 or 10 minutes. I'm probably not even going to bother entering them into my CRM. Then you had this other set, okay, they stayed for the whole thing, but these 15 guys stuck around afterwards and they had a whole bunch of questions. Those are the ones that I probably want to follow up with in a little bit of time to make sure they got all the information they need. And so it's when you're hosting that through your own means, you can harvest some of that information. And so that's kind of where we're looking for that. The next step is the AI, and I think we're in the same place as a lot of other companies. That's the next big one for us to start looking at.
Yeah, I just read some research this morning that there's going to be a 270% jump in companies that use AI over the next 2 or 3 years, a big one. So let's now take a look to the future. Let's look 2 to 3 years out through this digital transformation, this post-COVID world. If you look into your crystal ball for sales productivity, AI, digitization, platforms, Sandeep, what do you see? What advice could you give sales directors, sales managers on seeing what's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, so that trend has already started. The tool's already in place now. Today, as a salesperson, I can see not just what's going on with that customer in my organization, with the data I have, but also what's going on online through LinkedIn, changes in positions, new hires, new leaderships. There's so much intelligence available. It needs to be tied together. I can't, as a person, individually go and grab all that information and try to make, right? So using those tools that like AI brings, for example, the relationship sales from Microsoft that ties in LinkedIn with Microsoft Dynamics Sales. Just, I pull up a customer record and I know who some new key hires are. If my key contact is still working there, I don't need to call them and find out and spend my time. So those are the kind of things that you have to move to there, along with integrating your internal information so that I bring that the benefits of AI into my everyday work. And, even like new opportunities coming up, those are presented that you don't have to go search for them. You can see conversations, somebody's searching for something, or it's an RFP or RFI they're doing that can be delivered to your system, and it gets created as a lead or an opportunity that you can then work with without a customer reaching out to you. That's a benefit of these tools that you can now start taking advantage of. And they're not expensive. That's the other amazing thing is that they don't cost a lot, right? Versus putting a person there that's got to do the scouting.
Yeah, that's right. So your human costs could go down if you do an effective use of digitization with AI for you. Matthew, let's go over to you. What are you seeing in this world of AI combined with sales productivity? What do you see over the next 2 to 3 years?
And so it really is a follow-on for Sandeep. And I think what we're seeing now is that the AI tools are becoming available to smaller companies. And so in the past, again, as an IT leader, you do the research and you see, big companies out there, step one, spend $100 million on AI. Yeah. Step one, buy an AI company. And that's not realistic for smaller companies. And so that's great that Netflix underwent their digital transformation, but for a company that's got a fraction of their revenue, where's the tool for us? And so the focus here is on, again, building the internal data set so that you can actually have something to apply the AI to. But one of the benefits that you can get now, whereas in the past you had to develop these algorithms and train them against your own data sets. And for smaller companies that don't have really a large enough data set to effectively train an AI or don't have the staff available to train it, you now get the benefit of companies that will do that for you, or they'll leverage the fact that their algorithms or AI has been trained against a larger data set applicable to yours, and then they can help you tailor it. And so, for example, you look at something like Microsoft and their Sales Insights. The Sales Insights applied to your data, but it's constantly learning across all of the other CRM implementations that Microsoft has out there. So on the back end, it's teaching this Insights module, learning from everybody, and then coming in and helping apply it to you. And so those are the types of tools that are exciting for businesses the size of the one that I work for, where I don't have an AI department. I have a guy that's learning how to do this. And so that's where we're looking next. And so we took our data from gathering it to standardizing it. We now have analytics capabilities that are giving us that view. And what we now want to do is move on to predictive capabilities. And so we want to bring in these algorithms and these tools that can help us say, not just what your data is, but here's what you can do with it.
Excellent. Very good. I like that idea of actually, if you're small, you could outsource. There's now companies popping up that they could do this for you, even for the SME type company. You don't have to be a big multinational. Excellent insight. Well, that's it for today. I'd like to thank you, Matthew and Sandeep, for your great insight today. Okay, for the next session, we'll be playing highlights from the recent Microsoft Ignite event. This was a global event, and we'll listen to the Microsoft sales team experts on how Microsoft Dynamics 365 has helped them in their day-to-day work to evolve from the traditional salesperson to the use of technology, again, to provide more value and become better digital sellers that provide solutions to their customers.
Hello, I'm Josh Kruger, a digital sales rep here at Microsoft. I leverage Dynamics 365 Sales featuring Sales Accelerator every day. It's helped me grow my sales from below quota 3 years ago to 260% of quota last year. I can say with the utmost confidence that Dynamics 365 sales has directly contributed to my success. It takes out the guesswork. It allows me to use my time efficiently and effectively. And most importantly, it allows me to help as many customers as possible in a day. I'm going to take you through how these tools maximize my time and help me focus on what matters. I start my day reviewing new leads and opportunities in my work list. The list is prioritized for me using data and AI. I can easily spot who I need to contact next and review the suggested actions. As a sales rep, I can often get overwhelmed by all of the data clutter, and this view helps me get onto the phone quicker. As you can see, David is the next lead on my list. I want to prep for the call, and I can quickly see a summary of the previous call, scan highlights, action items. If needed, I can also go into the full transcript. Knowing this background ensures the customer feels they're not having to repeat themselves every time they speak to a Microsoft seller. Using Teams within Dynamics, I can go ahead and click to call to see if David is available.
So we were considering Power BI as an option.
Okay, perfect. Notice how I can keep within the same screen context with all my data on my customer, without needing to jump between applications and still be able to access business data, transcript, and take any notes. Any business critical insight mentioned during the call is highlighted automatically for me so that I can clearly spot points of interest within seconds. While I collaborate in real time with the customer, no context is lost. I can keep my customer engaged while never missing a beat, and I now start to feel like I have a digital assistant doing the hard work of automatically capturing actions and notes while I just focus on the selling. As the call concludes, within seconds, I can see a rich call report, keyword highlights, flow of sentiment, and I can play back the recording. I can also schedule a follow-up on the action items. I used to hate the Friday afternoon tasks of writing up all my notes, but now most of that is already done for me, and I can move on right away. With all this data and dynamics, the system can optimize and self-learn, providing me more insightful recommendations and help me maximize every deal. Now I'm happy with my summary, and I can send a copy to my manager for my next coaching one-to-one and take a look at any trends or insights through the dashboard to help me drive improvements for my next call. And I can assist my manager as she looks to understand team progress and jump right on any feedback trends that improve our brand reputation.
Hi, I'm Morgan Olson, and I'm a manager for a digital sales team at Microsoft. My team of 13 focuses on Azure. My team uses the conversation intelligence tool in a multitude of ways. One way we use it is in one-on-ones. So we're able to dedicate time to hopping into one of their calls and really sifting through how the customer call went. When we first implemented it, I couldn't believe how many sellers were able to pick up on what they had room for improvement on. For example, I had one seller who was an incredibly fast talker, and I gave them the feedback to slow down prior. But they were able to listen to their own call and make the realization themselves. After our session, they said, "Morgan, I'm not sure how customers understand me because I move so quickly," and they vowed to slow things down. Not to mention, when we compared their talking speed stat to the rest of the team, it was significantly higher. So they not only got to hear their own voice on a customer call, they also got to witness statistics to prove it.
This is just the beginning. Dynamics 365 Sales has even more capabilities on the horizon that we're excited to use. Sometimes customers don't answer right away and they call me back. Dynamics is so intuitive that when an incoming call comes through, I can get a preview of who it is and switch focus to their record to help me prepare effectively. While in conversation, I can see related sales opportunity data and see conversation tips in real time. Each suggestion is an item to help me handle a question or provide insight on a competitor mentioned. I can then be knowledgeable on the spot in context of the current conversation, and it saves me from frantically searching for data sheets while trying to balance a call with the customer. The same is also true with meetings scheduled with customers. Using Teams, I can screen share, invite additional participants, and still have the rich AI to help guide me. Finally, once the call is complete, the upcoming call summarization feature will also take my long call and provide AI-driven suggested call highlights, which I can simply approve and add to the final note. This significantly reduces the admin time to write up notes and allows me to move on to my next action, knowing data quality is high. I hope you've seen there the great way Dynamics 365 Sales helps me focus on driving the best engagement possible with my customers. I'm confident no action I discussed is missed, and Dynamics 365 effectively allows me to be a successful sales rep who can exceed my quota.
Hello, welcome to Omnichannel Marketing and Digital Transformation. My name is James, and I'll be presenting today along with my business partner, Rosemary Lissing. Minor Labs is a digital advisory. We work with companies so that they can drive business and revenue growth, navigate change, and digitally transform for the future. I've been working in Singapore since 1998 with various companies in advertising, e-commerce, and broadcasting.
I'm Rosemary Lissing, and I'm the COO and co-founder of Minor Labs. I've been running digital businesses, teams, and programs for over 20 years now here in the Asia Pacific region. And I've worked at companies like DoubleClick, WPP Advertising Group M, and Dentsu Aegis Network.
So our agenda today: key trends in digital marketing, the impact of these key trends on digital transformation, how to begin your digital transformation journey, what's on the horizon, and then we're going to have a live demo with Johan Kusuma from Microsoft, who's going to show us Dynamics 365 marketing. Key trends in digital marketing. The first key trend is accelerated digital adoption. During the global pandemic, people have become more and more digitally oriented. Working from home, ordering from home, e-commerce, the ability to do a lot of family communications and work communications online has made it important for companies to be able to connect with consumers on the channels they're using, which are now more digital than ever. And that means omnichannel marketing is critically important, knowing the right time of day and the right platforms to connect with your customers in a relevant fashion. And data and insights from all of these contacts are critically important to driving additional business revenue. So we need to have the right data and insights to deliver a 360-degree view of the customer to inform our marketing and business decisions. Use data to better understand customers and drive revenue. Automation is also a key trend. People are using automation to drive efficiencies and revenue. Automation is powering campaign workflows, CRM, order fulfillment, and customer support. And AI drives personalization. People are using AI to gather new insights and act on them to personalize content, contacts, information, and campaigns. So personalize and optimize your campaigns to drive increased revenues for your business. And real-time marketing. Using automation and AI, you're able to now do almost real-time marketing to engage with customers at the right moment, the moment of truth when they're going to make a purchase decision, and you can be there faster and more impactfully than ever before. So why is this important? Digital transformation is happening super rapidly. Customer data and insights are valuable to running better business and marketing programs. And AI and real-time marketing power sales for your company. So let's see how omnichannel marketing can transform your business. So I'll hand it over to Rosemary. Rosemary, over to you.
Thanks, James. Now let's look at how these trends impact digital marketing transformation. We see that there are three opportunities. The first one is about data-informed decisions. It's about analyzing your data, identifying patterns, and deriving insights so that you can make more and better informed decisions for your marketing activities. It's also about having a 360-degree view of your customer, because you're able to track across different touch points. You're able to understand customer behavior better. And the third is about measuring and improving. Measuring is key to driving performance because you know what's working and you know what's not. And then you're able to iterate and improve your campaigns to the things that are working better. So there are some key considerations when looking at digital transformation. The first one is about leadership, and it's about commitment. So both leadership needs to be strong, and you need to have a commitment throughout your organization, because digital transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to foster, develop, and grow. It's also about working as a team, one team. You may have different divisions, but you need to be able to integrate these teams with workflows to be able to work seamlessly together. So it's about unified workflows, common language, and common goals between teams. And the third is about data unification and data management. Data may be sitting in different silos within your organization and on different teams. To be able to get and drive digital performance well, you need to have unified data so that you can have a single view of the customer. So how do you begin your digital marketing transformation journey? Well, we believe that there are 3 key areas. The first one is about people and culture. The second is about campaign performance. And the third is about omni-channel programs. Let's take a look at all of them, starting with people and culture. So successful digital marketing programs start with people development. And the reason for that is because people are your greatest asset. And when you focus training on them, they'll be able to help drive better programs in your digital marketing activities. So one way we at Minor Labs help with people development is that we create different types of workshops focused on digital marketing skills, and we combine those skill sets with an understanding of technology platforms so that your teams can run more effective programs. And that's a key differentiator. You need to marry digital skill sets with marketing automation to be able to actually drive great results. So let's take a look at a people case study. This one's for a pharmaceutical company where we helped build a digital marketing workshop to grow digital marketing skill sets of their team, and they could apply these skill sets to their Dynamics 365 marketing platform. How did we do it? Well, we worked with the client and identified team challenges, and then designed the workshop around those challenges to get the best impact. Some of the things that we covered was email messaging and design, and how to create better fulfillment mechanics. We also looked at end-to-end tracking of the customer journey and how to better track. We also provided them with optimization techniques and feedback loops for insights. So now let's take a look at campaign process. And it's about connecting the dots. And how do you start? What are the core considerations? Well, the first thing is about having a strategy and a plan and knowing your customer, knowing their needs, wants, desires, and frustrations, and mapping them across the customer journey. The second is about data collection, hygiene, and unification. How, where, and what data do you collect? And ensuring that you actually have a centralized place, a centralized storage area for this data. And then you need to ensure that the data is clean and compliant to the regulations of your market. The third consideration area is about KPIs, measurement, and learnings. Only by measuring are you able to improve your programs and know what is working and what is not. So that's key to success. Let's take a look at a process case study. It's an automotive company, and they were going through some transformation themselves and needed to improve their data process workflow and connect the dots with data. So what did we do? Well, we helped them deploy tracking tags across all key areas that needed to be measured and tracked within their digital touchpoints. We also looked at unifying data naming conventions so that there was a structure across teams to how you reference the data. And the third was about optimization and creating a strategy, as well as creating a testing strategy and how to standardize tests so that they are able to test and optimize more regularly. And all of these things helped improve campaign effectiveness. Accessing data was important, the accuracy of data was important, and the compliance. So now let's take a look at programs. How do you drive better and more effective programs? You start by setting SMART goals. And what do we mean by SMART? Well, these are goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Then you need to look at omni-channel experiences. What are the touch points that you want to use? And where are they in the customer journey for your particular audience? Use your data-driven insights and create strong messaging to attract the customer and interact with them. Then it's about designing smart success metrics and continuously optimizing and testing, which is key to delivering and creating better programs. Let's take a look at some of the case studies. There are different companies that are using digital in different ways to drive marketing ROI and customer lifetime value. The first one is a global IT company, and they wanted to focus on sales. Key was to unify retail with digital campaigns to drive performance in sales. And they did that successfully by creating proactive end-to-end engagement from awareness through to consideration down to purchase. The second one is from an FMCG company where we help them derive better insights by integrating different components and insights of other channels. For example, we integrated search and social signals to inform creative messaging. When we did that, we found that their campaigns improved 70 to 88% of the time. And why was that? It was because their messaging was more relevant, because we're taking real-time search and social signals to employ in their marketing programs. And then the third example is a global automotive company where they wanted to drive leads. So what we did was create an always-on lead generation program for them. We unified the data strategy and created a digital center of excellence to drive best practices across the group so that they could all learn and grow together and drive better performance for their campaigns. Year on year, we had gains on leads because we were able to connect and communicate, learn, and grow. So that ends my portion of the presentation. I'm going to turn it back over to James. Over to you, James. Let's take a look at what's on the horizon.
Thank you, Rosemary. The case studies were really informative. I enjoyed them a lot. So let's take a look at what's on the horizon. Companies today can engage with customers in near real time with personalized messages powered by AI to deliver better omni-channel campaign and business performance. Now let's talk with Yuhan Kasuma from Microsoft. And Yuhan's going to take us through a live demonstration of Dynamics 365 marketing, which I'm really excited to see. So thank you very much. Get in touch. We'll hear from you soon.
Hello everyone. So my name is Yuhan. I'm technical specialist for business application at Microsoft Asia Pacific. Very thrilled to join with you, my fellow friends marketers, and share what kind of innovation that Microsoft have across of our portfolio, and we might have like a very fruitful discussion today. So today we want to share with you on a very interesting topics that we call real-time marketing with predictive AI. Why we are trying to bring you this kind of topic in this kind of time where a lot of enterprise companies are hit by a pandemic situation, because as one of the best AI company in the world, Microsoft really wants to think about our customer. So we are trying to infuse our AI technology into our business application. So we are not focusing on the technology itself, but we are more focusing on how we can help people in the right time with the right solution, or what we call cutting edge technology. So marketing, our field friends here, it hasn't been very important as before, right? We as a marketer today, because marketing handling a lot of very important initiative, especially in this kind of situation where your company is being pushed to have a digital innovation in a very limited time. So marketing need to push themselves with so many innovation, and maybe in this kind of situation they have like so many challenges. For example, right, this is mock-up customer, but the challenges is based on our customer in the worldwide. So we found out that you want to do like a marketing initiative right now. Maybe a company or maybe some of you are still focusing on what we call operation methodology and trying to shift into focusing more on your customer experience. So when we are talking about customer experience, we will talk about what we call behavior of your customer. We remember, right, when we are talking about marketing initiative, where should we start? We should start from data. There's a very common phrase where there's a saying that data is the new oil. But in this kind of situation, right, especially in this kind of era where pandemic hitting us very hard and the behavior of our customer is shifting, we need to analyze more on this kind of data, what we call behavior of your customer. And the behavior of your customer now is shifting, especially in this past 2 years, especially in this time. So before you're starting your marketing initiative, maybe you are doing account-based marketing or other kind of thing, you really need to focus on your behavior of your customer. And then the other kind of things is, as a marketer, I want to start with where I can get my data. Maybe I need today. Maybe I need to go to my IT team, request them some data set of customer, and then from there I can request for a specific segmentation. But all the data is now sitting in silos, because maybe your even our company, right? We are interacting with our customer in an omni-channel ways. There's a lot of channel interacting with our customer, and the data coming in and sitting on a different system or application. Other kind of things, maybe you're still doing manual segmentation. All right, I want to do like a high revenue customer. I'm still doing like an old way of marketing, newsletter, blasting to all of my customer base. But today, a lot of companies, they are thinking about how we can retain our customer in a new way, how we can reach our customer across our multiple channel. Maybe our company have like an email, have social ads, maybe we have like a mobile application and other kind of channel. So from this, as a marketer, we are trying to create an initiative. Maybe let's try to do a campaign from, in this case, it's like a Kontoso coffee. We want to create a campaign, for example, to retain an existing customer. And also we are thinking of acquiring a new customer in this situation. So maybe we are trying to offer a referral program to our existing customers so they can invite their friends or colleagues to have or to buy services from us as well. So this is type of challenges that we are facing right now, especially in this kind of situation. From this, we are trying to share with you on how Benjamin, as a marketing manager, so I will share with you, for example, in this story, sample story use case. For example, here is we are trying to play as Benjamin, a marketing manager at Kontoso Coffee. So first, he will focus on how he can start crunching his data from different data source and building canonical data model and improve his current segmentation, because segmentation is very, very important, right? Especially for you that are running account-based marketing. It's really important to have like very insightful segmentation to ensure that you have a success campaign. After that, as a marketing manager, other kind of thing that you want to achieve is to deliver a personalized experience by using the holistic customer that generated, that already unified by the previous steps here. After that, is there any kind of automation that Benjamin can do and identify, is there any kind of physical trigger? Maybe your customer today, they can start interact with your services, maybe in a physical way. Maybe they can come to your store. They're already coming again to your store, connecting to your Wi-Fi service, for example, or purchasing something in your branch and other kind of things. So physical trigger playing an important signal as well, and it can enrich our visibility of our customer behavior. And then we have what we call upsell opportunity motion. So of course, as a marketing, right, the target is for you to have an effective campaign where you want to increase your revenue by upselling or cross-selling. And last but not least is Benjamin need to have the capability to analyze and have a visibility of his campaign metrics so he can iterate or adjust his campaign strategy on the fly. So let's see where Benjamin will start his day. So here Benjamin can go to his what we call customer data platform powered by AI, and Microsoft named it Customer Insight because we really understand that your data really needs to be processed, and we need to unveil any kind of insight from your current or existing data and from your new data sources. So Benjamin can go to his customer data platform here, and he sees that I have a lot of data source right now. Maybe I can here you can see that he have data from his CRM system, Dynamics 365, or maybe he have data from his POS because Contours Coffee is a retail. He's pulling data from his POS, or maybe you have like an ERP system or other kind of backend system. And he's trying to getting data or insight from your website engagement. So maybe, for example, you have data from your loyalty management system or loyalty management apps, or maybe from your website interaction where your customer, maybe they're purchasing something through your website. So you're trying to put in the data in. And before Benjamin have this kind of solution, right, he maybe need to like request to his IT team and then asking for the data set and create the segmentation from it. But right now, I can easily, as Benjamin, I can easily ingest all different data sources. The goal is to have like an enriched segmentation overlaying data from different data sources. So with the availability of the connector from Customer Insight, we have a pre-built connector to connect with your ERP or any kind of system. Even API connector is available as well. I can create or analyze measure from it. For example, what we call measure is your business insight. Maybe I want to monitor KPI around your churn. Maybe you want to monitor about your in-store spending or in-store purchases or other kind of thing. Maybe you want to you want to have visibility between your in-store and online purchases. All this can be done because we are able to consume the different data sources that we already ingested. And other kind of thing, after we can create the measure, right? After this, we create what we call segmentation. So segmentation will not, right now, we will not be done manually, but right now we can automatically define the segmentation without coding. And Customer Insight even give you a suggestion to create a segmentation based on your data. And this is powered by AI as well. And even you can have an insight of your current segmentation here. For example, we can analyze, is there any difference in between one segmentation and other segmentation as well, or overlapping between the segmentation. For example, here I can have insight analyzed by an AI and drill down into a different metrics here. This is a very cool feature because right now, right, for marketer, it's very important to get or create segmentation easily. Alright, so after we create our segmentation, right, after this, then we can unify the customer profile because we already collect the data using our unification capability. So we also have an out-of-the-box unification capability, what we call like 3M, map, match, and merge. So this is all powered by AI. You have an intelligent mapping here. What you only need to do, even this is maybe not a marketing job, but maybe you can give this to your data analyst, and then after the result came out, then you can consume this data. But the tools is here. We help you to achieve this by mapping the data. You will only need to select which is the right field that you need to map, and then match the data that you have right now. Maybe your challenge right now is to matching data from POS system to ERP system. And then the final step is doing the merge. So you can have like a clean data from this process. So it's like an ETL tools or cleansing tools that already comes out of the box. After this, we can go to our what we call unified customer profile. This is where we are trying to create for you a canonical data model where you as a marketer can easily analyze and decide on what segmentation or what kind of customer that you want to target. So here I have already what we call like a clean customer, unified customer profile. I have like more than 10,000 customers right now. And this one I open Claudia Mazzanti. She's our customer, loyal customer for Contoso Coffee. Here we can see the unified profile where we can have like a single customer ID, first name, last name, her gender, telephone, and other kind of core information. But another pretty cool things is we also merge the information based on their activities in the past. So, for example, we have a timeline for you. For example, the online purchase done by Claudia, her POS purchase, her website review, her subscription. So we have a complete timeline based on her interaction. And on the right side, we can see that this is all the metrics that we have already set up based on your data, and it will be updated automatically. And this is very important metrics that we have already set up here. We have total online spend, we have in-store spends, we have the NPS, and thanks to the out-of-the-box model, right, we have the subscription churn rate and also the churn risk. So Benjamin, he can decide, oh, all right, I want to retain my customer, right? So what kind of segmentation that we want to start with this retain campaign initiative? So we will start with customer that might have like a high lifetime value, but this customer need to have like a high churn risk. So we can easily get this data set of our customer and then start our campaign. So thanks to customer insight, right? After this, because we have like a connected environment for our marketing teams, we can easily then give this insight to our marketing team. So we have like our export capabilities. We have like other kind of pre-built connector if you want to export this to other application as well. Because right, there's a saying, I'm just trying to stealing one of my colleagues, soundbite from one of my colleagues at Microsoft. He says that the data may be worth a dime, but for the action might worth $1. So action is very important. What you can do with data from this unified data from Claudia Mazzanti, we then can export this to our marketing teams. Maybe you can export it to your sales team, or maybe you can export this to your customer service team as well. So here Benjamin can go to his Dynamics 365 marketings. This is his daily marketing tools. He can access it from anywhere because it's already hosted on the cloud. So he can go to his dynamic marketing and he sees that there's already a list of segment generated. So thanks to customer insight, and because we have like a connected environment between our CDP customer data platform and our marketing platform, right? So all the segment will periodically push into Benjamin's environment. So you can see here, Benjamin, he have a lot of insight or a lot of segment with enriched insight from the customer data platform. So here you can see he have like a subscription churn prediction, or even customer with open case, or a more enriched segmentation, for example, high churn with high customer lifetime value customer. Or for B2B customer, we also can talk about our B2B friend here. For example, you have like highly engaged B2B online customer, or even you are trying to integrate with your webinar initiative customer that attending your event. This is high CLV event attendees, or other kind of thing, likely to purchase again, and other kind of segmentation. So Benjamin now have a lot of option to determine his account-based marketing motion. So from the segmentation, he can start building the journey. What we call journey actually is a step of workflow where you can define what kind of step that you want to be in your customer experience. So what we call customer experience is the journey where the customer is subscribing or interacting with your services. This can be applied to your B2B scenario and B2C as well. The difference is only, I don't say there's any difference between the journey from B2B and B2C, right? Because it all boils down to like a personalized experience. So we can cater both sides in Dynamics 365 marketing. So remember, right, we are talking about Contoso Coffee, where we want to have like a campaign to retain our customer. So first, we're trying to create an initiative for our returning customer. For example, Claudia, right, we identified that she has like a highest or a high churn risk. So Benjamin tried to define a journey for her, for this specific customer, and try to give like a more personalized offer. So the goal is for them to maybe to repurchase again, or for them to maybe we can for our brand to get back at the top of their mind. So this is where I've go into our returning customer journey. So Benjamin can easily define his journey here. You can see we have like this what we call customer journey orchestration designer. This is very intuitive interface where you don't need to code at all. So even as a marketer, you can do it by yourself. So I've talked with a lot of marketing team. Maybe they already define, okay, I have like I want to move my customer from cold to warm to high. But by using this kind of intuitive interface, right, you can integrate directly with your channels. Even you can measure your campaign effectiveness in a real time. So the journey will start from defining the journey itself. So we'll start by, here you can see Benjamin can start by selecting what kind of segmentation that will participate in this journey. Because you know, right, again, the ABM motion really hinge on the segmentation. And thanks to customer insight, the segmentation, we will use customer insight as our guiding compass. So we don't need to go back and forth to our IT team. So here we have like a high churn and high CRV customer. We have an option to exclude maybe some segmentation. Maybe you don't want to make a repeatable marketing initiative to the same customer in a specific period of time. And also you have capability to do like a scheduled marketing based on the time that you think this is the best time to really or to launch or to set off this campaign. So here I can set it maybe on December 15, and we will launch this campaign on this day. After this, we can then save it and go back. And then after we start our journey, we want to have a capability to personalize the experience, right? especially for our existing customers. So in this case, Claudia, she loves coffee from Contoso Coffee, right? Maybe we already identify what is her favorite drink, what is her purchases and other kind of things. So we have a visibility of her favorite drink. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to test the market, what we call A/B testing. Maybe we can do like personalized content and send it to her and test it whether which content is more have like a more effective effectiveness on the content itself. Maybe we can have like different or two different content. First one is a highly personalized email where you will put the information, even the favorite drinks from Claudia, because you have the information from customer insight, right? So you can put it here automatically. Whenever Claudia receives this email, then she can see instantly, oh, okay, Contoso Coffee recognize my favorite drinks. Or we have an option to send the other personalized content where we decide that we don't want to put the favorite, but we want to have like testing whether she will be more interested maybe in some kind of additional voucher. Maybe we can test based on that. Is she interested more on the highly personalized where we mentioned about her favorite, or we kind of offer her something and then she can maybe redeem this voucher and refer to her college. So we have an option to do this A/B testing. And after this, we can send both these two content, the promotional favorite drink and the choose your drink. After that, we also have an option to do maybe after that follow-up action. Maybe after she open our email, then we can try to maybe send a follow-up action based on her activities. What we mean with creating and follow-up activities, right, is by you have an option to do a lot of things trying to reach out across your channel. For example, here you can reach out to her via email, via the push notification, or via the text message. And also you can leverage our out-of-the-box AI capability to decide which is the best channel to reach out to Claudia. So you can even use AI capability to decide which is the best channel to reach out to her. So this is very cool things by using AI capability where you can decide, oh, all right, I want to, the AI will decide whether we should send her via email, or we can send her via push notification to her mobile apps. So this is the option for Benjamin to build his customer journey for the returning customer for Contoso Coffee. After this, we will move, let's say we want to track and measure the campaign effectiveness. Here you can see the returning customer. Let's say we assume that we already fast forward for example, like 2 weeks. And then we can see here, thanks to the Sankey diagram here, we can see the activities coming down our journey. So we can hear like there's already 245 activities. You can see the effectiveness of your personalization or A/B testing. And you can see here that even for each person, we have the analytics for you to analyze maybe from, for example, here based on the open rate, and even you can have like the version of it, how much people receiving the version A or how much people are receiving the version B. And also here you can see the result of our campaign effectiveness, again by using the AI capability, selecting the best channel, which channel we can reach out to our customer. You can see here, right, by using this channel optimization, the goal increased for more than 20% based on the channel engagement rate here. So you can see here the AI really orchestrate on which best channel we can reach out to Claudia or her referred friends. So you can see here the engagement rate is higher on the email. So this is really, we can really track a real-time result from our campaign. So we can see here again the goal, because we are setting the goal for us is to the customer to purchase, right? So we can even measure the goal from here. And last thing, very important for Benjamin is to track his campaign effectiveness, right? By visualizing his journey or campaigns. Here we also provide you with an out-of-the-box analytics capability powered by Power BI, where you can track all your journey or Benjamin that already created in a specific time. So we have like returning customer, new referred customer. You can even analyze why people are left your journey. Maybe in the middle of the journey they didn't complete the journey. You can even monitor your channel performance. From here, right, you can analyze that, okay, email engagement is still the most favorite channel right now for my company. Or even you can have or tracking in real time the channel engagement issue, whether it's effective or not, sending via text message or email, even the engagement success rate as well. And also the last but not least is the A/B testing result, where you can see which content is the most effective content to send to your customer. So here you can have the A/B testing result in a real time. So that's the journey from Benjamin, where he already complete the starting from the segmentation, right? He able to do a personalized experience, and then combining with the physical trigger, trying to automate the journey from for his company, for Contoso Coffee. Even he can accommodate trying to reach out to his existing customer and his new customer as well, doing the upsell and have a visibility of his campaign. So by combining data insight and marketing automation tools powered by AI, we call this motion empowered marketing through insight. So by performing this, Benjamin right now he can achieve like a more decrease in the churn rate by using the more targeted customer journey. So you are not only doing like traditional customer journey where you are only targeting, for example, high revenue customer or female customer with age 21 to 30. Not only like that anymore, but you can do a more targeted customer journey. And by doing this, you can maximize your customer lifetime value, right? You see on the demo, on the customer journey, Benjamin can not only send one action in his customer journey, but he can also anticipate what we call like proactive, in a proactive way, anticipate what will be the behavior of customer. If she's not opening the email content, if she's not receiving the text message, then we can send maybe another email campaign or another text message to her. Or even if she's opt out from our specific journey, then we can exclude her and maybe nurture her again later. And by using this combination of data insight and dynamic 365 marketing, you have a more higher rate of conversion, right? So you really ensure that the leads that you capture is being nurtured well, and you are really delivering highly effective campaign that you already define in a targeted customer journey. So you can have like an increase in your customer conversion rate. All right. That's all that we can share in this very limited time. We are keen to connect with you again further. Maybe if you have like another use case for B2B and B2C, we really believe that by combining data insight and also marketing automation tools powered by AI, you can deliver a more personalized customer journey. So if you want to connect to us, then you can follow the instruction on this slide. And we are happy to talk with you soon. So thank you very much for your time.